Hey, what's up, guys? Beastanko6 here. How's everybody doing? I'm making this video. It's a lot different than the videos I've made before in the past. This is kind of like a little background video on me. I put on Subsim.com a little request to anybody who loves my videos to please subscribe because I am trying to get monetized. I won't hide the fact that I am trying to get 1,000 subscribers. And then Evil Aviator on Subsim.com, you left a message today, and I wanted to kind of respond to that message because you're absolutely right. I don't put enough video content up like some people do, like once every day or once every week, and it's tough for a couple of reasons. One, being a family man and working and being tight on cash is tough. I should be making more videos. I know that's not an excuse for some people. But it's tough. It's a lot tougher than I thought it was. When I was making these videos, I had a lot more time then, several years ago, than I do now, and it's been tough. It's been really, really tough trying to stay consistent. But number two, I've done so many darn videos on this great game between Silent Hunter 3 and 5. I honestly, I've gotten to the point where I'm scratching my head as to what videos I should be making, and so I started the Hunter series, which I'm now in Season 2, and yes, I have not put up a video for that in a long time. I do feel ashamed about that, but I know a lot of you guys like the Hunter series, and it's basically me hunting and watching me on my campaign, and I do have to get back to that. I do have plans on getting back to that soon. Then COVID hit, and that was tough for everybody. So Evil Aviator, you're right. I should be putting more episodes up there. But another reason I wanted to do this video is to kind of give you a little history on me. I live near Chicago, and I've been out here most of my life. You can share your sympathies later because that's a whole another story. Chicago is its own little world. But this community has been one of the greatest things I've ever been a part of. Uncle Neil and all the guys at Subsim.com, if you don't know who they are, for those of you who don't do Subsim and you're just part of my channel, I please encourage you to check them out and check out it's an awesome website, from modern submarine simulators to even aviation games to board games even. Whatever you're looking for when it comes to simulators, it's a great channel, or great, excuse me, not channel, but it's a great website. That website has been one of the greatest things I've been a part of in a long time. The community is awesome. It's funny when you play a game, everybody has the same stories, right? You're hunting a convoy, you're hunting a ship, you're being attacked from above by a couple of tribal destroyers, or you're on a mission to go to a certain quadrant. It's all the same. But it's the stories that people speak so passionately about is what I loved, and why I got into manual targeting. It's why I got into the immersive techniques. My thread, immersive techniques for the true subsimmer. I know there's guys out there. Like me, who you got the red light in your office, and you do stupid things like you set up your timing to be just like in the game, in the real world. You might do real world simulating where you're constantly, you're going at, TC1. I'm rambling, I know, but there's guys out there I know who are like me. You're the true nerds, and I'm proud to be that nerd. And usually my videos I have a little bit more of a script, but I'm just rambling right now. I'm just trying to be true to myself here. My grandfather was in the U.S. Navy. He was a chief radioman. He was on boats before and after the nuclear age. He told me stories about Korea. God help me, I can't remember what boats. I think he was on the San Antonio as well. He'd been on a lot of boats. He also helped with testing boats and equipment. He was one of those guys where he can listen to just Morse code, and he knows what's going on. Like, he used to do that just to keep up with his craft long after he retired. That's the kind of nerd he was. And some of the stories he would tell me, he wouldn't tell me a lot of details because guys who were in the silent service, I mean, they're true to their word. They stay silent, you know. But he would tell me stories, some stories. And one thing he used to tell me was never believe the training accidents during the Cold War. He told me that, he said he guaranteed me that most of them weren't training accidents, things like that. And that intrigued me, and that made me want to join the Navy, which I did in 1999. I was in for a while. I got kicked out for asthma, and that was one of the most painful things I ever did. That ever happened to me, was being kicked out for asthma. It was one of the greatest moments of my life to go into Great Lakes Naval Academy, or Naval Boot Camp, excuse me, Naval Academy. I wish, right? And it was a cool thing, man. You know, it was a cool thing, and I respect the service. I respect Navy and all of the branches. They always have my respect. But there's always been this gap, you know, this gap where, you know, I've always felt lost because I never got to go and do a career when I wanted to. I hate to say it, but Silent Hunter series was that gap. That's what closed the gap for me. Excuse me. I was a big Silent Hunter 1 fan. I did play Silent Hunter 2 for a little bit, but then when I got out of the service, it was Silent Hunter 3. Silent Hunter 3 was this thing I never saw before. I mean, nobody saw anything like this. It was just phenomenal. I was a fan of Das Boot. I was a fan of all of them, from Hunt for Red October to Crimson Tide to, I mean, you name it. And then this vanilla game that comes out. You know, when you play Silent Hunter 3 vanilla, it's kind of like it's quaint, you know. But then when you build up your repertoire, you know, here I got my NYGM right here, and I even got my LSH3 on the standby. It was like living. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. It's the weather up here. It's like literally living the movie Das Boot to me, and being part of that community with Subsim. Excuse me again. It was just so. It was such a, I don't know, it's just, I found people I could be part of. People that I can be in a community with, that I could share these stories with, you know, whether I'm being pinged overhead, you know, I'm evading, you know, depth charges, and it's just the stories, you know. And I started fooling around with manual targeting. And manual targeting was always like this native language that I could never understand, that I wasn't part of. It was just this weird language that some people spoke and some people didn't, and there was a lot of resources on how to do a manual attack, but I don't think it was very much video. It wasn't made into videos. It wasn't. I'm a visual learner, right? And so hands-on and seeing it in actual use was something that I needed to have in order for me to at least understand it. And so you know, I started reading more and more on the topic. I was never good at math ever in my life, but I started reading more and more into the topic, and I started putting it into use, and I realized that I was getting better and better at manual targeting. The idea of the TDC and where the torpedoes are going, it was more of a visual feeling than anything. So I started getting into the math. I started learning math about it. I actually taught myself a lot of math skills because I was terrible in high school. I was terrible in school for math. I couldn't do division if you paid me. You know, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do long division. It was the most toughest thing. But then I started getting into, you know, a little bit of the trig, a little bit of the sine, cosines, and all that other jazz. And while I'm still terrible at it, being able to aim at a ship manually from start to finish, launch that torpedo and hit it, it became more of a living thing. And I wanted to share that living thing with other people out there and get people to enjoy that feeling of doing something awesome like that. Being able to manually target the ship, watch that torpedo go, and watch that explosion. It's one of the coolest feelings in the world. if I do feel like the old man in Das Boot. You know, it's a feeling that you just can't explain. You know, and I've been making these videos ever since because I want to see people have that feeling as well. And the outpouring has been awesome. You know, people have been so kind to me with the comments, with the subscriptions. I mean, I'm seeing my videos in Russian websites and in Steam, on Steam communities. My name is popped up everywhere, and the amount of love that I've received for these videos has been so overwhelming. And so now I'm asking you guys to please, if you watch my videos, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you've never visited subsim.com, please visit that. It will give you so much information. And like I said, the community is so different. You know, it's one of the reasons why I do the videos. You know, I talked to Uncle Neil about, you know, asking, you know, if guys on Subsim could subscribe. If I could ask them to subscribe to my channel, he said yes. And so I'm going to take advantage of that. It's been really, really tough. And for those of you who've been watching my videos, who are part of my, you know, my channel, if there's something you want to see and if I can provide that for you, please let me know. And I'll make those videos if I can. It's been tough. Like I said, COVID's been tough. I've had some personal losses since the last video I've made, which has been really, really tough. But I'm still here. I'm still alive. I still care. It's been really difficult, and I'm trying to get myself on my feet. I'm so close. You know, I'm at 750 subscribers now. And again, I love all you guys. You guys have, with all the comments, and you know, if you ask me questions, I'll get back to you. And for those of you, if I've ever missed a question, you know, on YouTube, when you leave a comment, you know, I'm sorry. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, or remind me if I haven't ever answered your questions. And for those of you who love my immersive techniques for the True Subsimmer thread on Subsim, thank you so much for adding to that thread. That thread has become alive. It's so full of information. Der Strasse, this is a little shout out to you. You've been putting on some great stuff out there. I appreciate it. He's been putting a lot of historical methods on my thread, and that's what the thread's for. There's so much information on there. I think it's becoming difficult to find information. So I apologize for that. I almost have to make my own like little channel or something just for that particular thread on Subsim. So I'm not going to bore you guys with more details. I just wanted to say that I really love my community. I love you guys for all the good times I've had on Subsim. I love all the comments. I love all the stories that you guys yourselves put on there, and I love reading them. The downloads that you guys have uploaded, all the special little mods, all the special little tools. You know, I've put up a few things myself. I just want to say that I appreciate every one of you and for what you do and making this game one of the greatest games in the world. And then, of course, all the help that you put out there for Wolfpack, for U-Boat, all of them. You know, it's highly appreciated. And so I'll do my best to keep up and do my videos. I just kind of wanted to rant there and just get it off my chest. And I want to thank you again. So thank you for being the coolest people that I've ever known to ever have conversations with. It's one of my pride and joys to go on Subsim and talk with you guys. All right, you guys have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you under the waves soon.